Hi there guys, welcome back to another episode of 4K Garage. So in this episode, it's quite an exciting one. Hoping to get the car wrapped up, get the car back on the ground. Got some lovely new trailing arms to fit, get that wheel centered up in the arch. Then we're going to get the wheels back on, get it back on the ground, give it a brief little string alignment, just to make sure the toe on the rear is all nice and at least zeroed out so that I'm not destroying my tyres as I drive down the road. And then we're going to be taking the car out, getting the rear arches welded up. That should hopefully be all of that buttoned up. Not sure how much I'm going to show you guys the welding process. Don't want to go sticking cameras on people's faces, but hopefully I can show you before, during and after. So let's get cracking into it. I'm going to fit these. Stay tuned. Right, here we go. So the car's back in the ground. As you can see, I've got my little string alignment set up. And I've been measuring it and making little adjustments. As you can see, the wheel's pretty much in the centre of the arch now. And there really isn't too much toe in one way or another. Toe in or toe out. And so how I did that was very crude drawings. Here's the front of the car. And the strings are exactly 200mm away from the centre of each hub. And then at the back, I originally measured 80mm both sides at the back edge of the wheel and 70mm both sides, the front edge of the wheel, meaning the wheels were towed out. So the front of the rear wheels are pointing outwards, more so than the rears. Got into the car, made some adjustments. This is what I've managed to reel it in a little bit. So we've got 73 at the back of one, 76 at the back of the other. So of course that's a bit less either way. And then 76 at the front of the other one, and 75 front of the passenger side wheel. So that's a lot better overall. I mean, it's still a tiny bit out. Barely any on this one, to be honest. A tiny bit more on that one, but I'm happy to drive on this. I mean, I don't know what that is in degrees. Someone might be able to tell me, so I'm not too worried about it for now. I'm going to get all the wheels torqued up, make sure it's all good to go, and then I'll be driving the car home. And we're back. Back from having the car welded. It's the Monday after now. It was a fantastic weekend, being able to drive the car, getting it out in the sun, being able to have a look at it, just appreciate how it looks. And finally getting the rear arches welded up for good. Kind of makes it feel like the car's finished now. You know, the kit's on, arches are welded up. It's kind of all done really, apart from having the car wrapped and a few little finishing touches. I'll do a walk around of the car, get all the arches off again, show you kind of what we did and how we welded it up, applied seam sealer, undercoat, the whole lot. But before I do that, let me give you a few little clips I filmed while I was there. Enjoy. Alright, well, here we are. Let's see how it's going with the welding. Come through here. As I said, we're using all new sheet metal. This is the first side we've done so far. Welded, ground back a little bit. Not even primered, seam sealed or undercoated yet, but as you can see, all the way around, it is done beautifully. And that metal's nice and solid, about 1.5mm thick. Just MIG welded in there just so it doesn't get too hot and blow through just the thin sheet metal of the car. And then ground back. Pretty simple really. Give this a coat of primer. Give it some seam sealer around the edges. And underseal the whole lot. Move on to the driver's side. And then, I mean, the Rocket Bunny kit is essentially totally installed. Not you can really see it, but it's all welded on the inside. Fantastic, nice and solid. Good work. Right, all welded up. Seam sealed, well, primered, seam sealed, and undersealed. Looking very good, still very wet, but hopefully that should dry nice and uniform, nice and waterproof. Shouldn't have any problems with rust. I need to get to the inside of the panel a little bit. I might just spray a little bit of a primer or paint in there just to again stop those from rusting on the inside. We did weld through primer them before welding them on, so it shouldn't really be an issue, but better safe than sorry. And that's it really, we just got to get the car back together. It's kind of all in almost 1,000 pieces, and just let that dry. Should be all good. Here we are guys, so as I say, back from welding, wheels off, and I just thought I'd show you what we did really. You have to excuse some of the mess in the underseal. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit of body work already, which I'm going to talk about in the next episode when I talk about the wrap and the colour of that and so on. Our entire plan was to totally weld in brand new sheet metal, and as you can see, that's exactly what we've done. Just goes all the way up, squares it off using that template I showed you. That's another panel, another panel, another little panel, and a final little one. And then as I say, this area got pinched and welded together. Now obviously I need to think about some kind of arch liner to stop stuff from getting into the bumper there, as you can see right in there. But what I'm thinking is using that plastic I keep mentioning to make a sheet and probably just rivet it here, maybe attach it up here somehow. This is all previously covered up by arch liner, which I'm probably going to reinstall anyway. There's no reason not to. It has no clearance issues with the wheels. I just need to trim them down so that I probably at most use like these furthest out mounting holes. Let's have a look at the other side. So this was the side I came and re-rounded, and this one just turned out fantastic. MIG welding doesn't get the same kind of lovely beads that TIG welding does, so there's no reason really to show them off. Not to mention, you're never going to see it. It's in a wheel well, these welds. That's one that couldn't get ground down, but it has been, like I said, lathered in seam sealer. Just because of the inside of that corner, so I couldn't really get the grinder in there. All really watertight and very nice and rigid. There's a couple of bits I'm definitely going to have to address on the front in regards to the handling and kind of geometry of it, but it's all most likely down to a bump steer kit that I need, that I've had sitting here for quite a while and not installed, so I'm probably going to do a video on installing that. Right, so the last thing I wanted to finish off this episode with was fitting the wing. Now as you can see, I've been busy tiger sealing these plates in. So with these removed, they're officially part of the wing. The side's the same, so are the extensions. So I've marked out on the side where I need to drill a little hole there, just to probably a 10mm hole, just to get the M8 bolt through. Already got the holes here, and so I just need to make the same marking on the other side. Right, so I laid out some tape. Got the same amount of tape on here. That's kind of a stencil. And now what I'm going to do. Right, so I think if I drill my hole there, I'm golden. There we go, moment of truth. Right, first bit on, and the wing. Right. I'd say that's looking pretty good. There's a little movement that needs to be made to level it up. I think it's a little bit high here. And this extension is a little bit too close. So that could do with moving that way, and this could do with moving down a little bit. Let's have a little walk around, shall we? So, looking very good. I really love that angle of the coupe rear sweeping back into the dark tail nicely. It's looking fantastic. Well chuffed with how that's turned out. But there we go, guys. That's it for this episode. Hope that was a decent enough finale for you. So of course, arches are welded up. Wings now on the car. Like I said, it needs some wiggle room. It needs some, much like the rest of it, some refinement. But we get there. So I think tomorrow we're going to move on to doing some body work and some prep on the mounting holes. I'll talk about the wrap. I'll talk about what I need to do just in general over the next few weeks. But there we have it. Hope you enjoyed as always. If you did, do all that good YouTube stuff. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.